All for frickin' win.
All right, it's 6:30, so I'll ask everyone in council chambers to settle down, and big welcome to everyone, the massive crowd we have awaiting tonight's council meeting tonight. So we will begin, call the meeting to order. This meeting, September 19th, 2016, and we'll begin with singing of the national anthem. Thank you to the National Film Board for the images of our country, and for the Grand Prairie Boys Choir for the singing of the national anthem. I'll now look to council for an adoption of the previous council minutes of Tuesday, September 6th. All right, Councillor McLean.
I move the minutes of the City Council meeting held Tuesday, September 6, 2016 be approved as presented.
All right. Any discussion on that? Not seeing any. I will call the question. All those in favor? Yes, there are seven people voting here tonight, so I guess that is complete. Perfect, and that passes. Now we'll look for adoption of the agenda. All right, Councillor Radburn.
Thank you, Councillor Tarrant. I would move the council adopt the agenda as presented.
Right. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? And we have 7 votes. And that passes as well. We move into the delegation portion of the agenda. I don't see anybody coming forward. I don't see anyone in the audience tonight, but we do have this time available every week for any community member to come forward and present to council. Unless I'm missing something, I don't see anybody. I think we'll move on to the next part of the agenda. We don't have any public hearings tonight, so that brings us to number 7, unfinished business, and I'll turn it over to Councillor McLean, who will speak to the WCB rebate funds.
Thank you, Mayor Tron. I move the council refer the WC rebate funds to the 2016 fall budget deliberations. And just to speak to it quickly, 2009 was the last time it was looked at, and it was around $20,000. WC rebates have changed dramatically from $250,000 to $350,000 a year. And I think it's an idea to look at it just like we do all our policies and changes to occur throughout the years.
Discussion, Councillor Rice.
Sorry, Terry, but I know the rules, but is that money not already in the budget? Like, do we not just take it into the budget? Like, it's already We already know what we're going to do with it. We already decided that. Do we not?
Yes, City Manager.
Thank you, Acting Mayor Tarrant. The funds you're speaking of, Councillor Rice, are currently in the budget. You're correct. It's just the general revenue, though, and I think.
But our budget is based on this much revenue, this much expenditure. So you haul out a chunk of money, you're going to have to either cut some expenses or do something else. Is that not simple math?
Correct, but there is a referral to budget, so it's.
Okay.
All right. Councillor Radbourne.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Tarrant. So I will not be supporting this notice of motion. Part of the reasoning is similar to Councillor Rice's, but first of all, I've always believed that I don't believe in reserve funds being directed. I think reserve revenue should go into the pot, and we decide how those revenues are spent through a budget process. We've had that process. The money right now is allocated wherever. There are some examples of where it's allocated in the report. So if we're going to move it out and use it for something else, then we have to find some other cuts or increase taxes. The administration is not recommending this. We have a culture of safety in our city that I'm quite proud of. There are safety teams, there are safety awards, there are safety programs. So I think we have the bases covered. And finally, this motion was defeated at Corporate Services, but certainly Councillor McLean has the right to bring it forward as a notice of motion. If we want to do something more in the safety area, it should come back through the business plan and the new budget process. Thank you.
Councillor McLean.
Thank you, Mayor Tarrant. Just speaking to it, it's not that it was going to be taken out, it would be debated within the fall budget. And to speak about being defeated, Councillor Radbourne is correct, but it was a tie vote. It was 2-2, and that's how it was defeated. It wasn't a 3-1 or anything like that. It was a tie vote. And it'd be nice, and we hear lots of times when policies or things get outdated to look at it. And at the time to finish up, it was $20,000. The rebates now is a lot more. So I hope it passes because it's one of the things we can debate at the fall budget.
Not seeing any other discussion on this topic. So seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor of the referral to budget? Well, so if you vote in favor, if you vote yes in the affirmative, then the motion passes. Yes. So a vote in favor would be referral to budget. Yes.
And not.
Yes. Yeah. So please vote. And that motion does not pass. So we move on to the next item we have is bylaw C 1350, and I'll look to administration for an introduction. Someone. Lending bylaw, is this not?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Tarrant. This is a recommendation to give first, second, and third reading to lending bylaw C 1350. The went to committee. Let's see. There was a request by the Army, Navy, and Air Force Club for an interest-free loan, and the report went to Community Living Committee. So in order to do a loan, we have to do it by a lending bylaw. So that's why it's here before you tonight. You just can't lend it without council voting in favor of a bylaw.
Councillor Rice.
I move first reading of bylaw C 1350.
All right. Any, no discussion on first kick at the can here, so I will call the vote. All those in favor? And that passes. Councillor Rice.
I move second reading of bylaw C 1350. It's a lending bylaw to the Army, Navy, and Air Force Veterans Unit number 389. It was for utility arrears to AMSC. And I'm supporting this because it is a loan. It's not a grant or a gift. It is a loan.
Do we have any discussion? Second reading. Seeing none, I will call the vote. All those in favor? And that passes.
I move we have third reading of bylaw C 1350.
All right, to remind council, this needs to be unanimous in order to have third reading. Call the vote. All those in favor? And so we can have third reading here tonight. Councillor
I
Rice.
move third reading of bylaw C 1350.
Right. Any final discussion? Seeing none, I will call the vote. All those in favor? And that passes. Right, thank you, Councillor Rice. And we have no further reports, so we'll move into 9.1, community committee business. And I look to our Chair of Community Growth for these minutes.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Tarrant. I would move that Council receive the minutes of the Community Growth meeting held Tuesday, September 6th, as presented.
Any discussion on that? Call the vote. All those in favor? And that passes. Councillor Clayton, I believe you have a couple motions coming out.
Sure, you bet. First one, I would move that Council approve the Green Transit Incentives Program, so Green Trip, project list and application submission to Alberta Transportation, and that the amount of $733,667 be approved in principle for the budget year of 2019 for 3 additional electric buses and a transit terminal for charging the electric buses.
Councillor Rice.
Is it a terminal or is it a charging station?
It's a charging station, charging terminal.
Charging terminal, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for administration. Is this so? This is for budget year 2019. So would this be at this point? It would be just put into the long-term capital budget unfunded. Is that?
Actually, acting deputy mayor Tarrant. Yes, I believe that is what it was for.
Councillor Rice.
That wouldn't be for the full amount. So would we just put our amount, our portion in there, or okay?
Mm-hmm.
Councillor McLean.
Thank you, Mayor Trent. I think part of it too as well, to get on top of the green trip and be involved, we have to submit, and then in 2019 the next council could say no, we're not going that direction. It's all up to the next council.
Councillor Rice, you're in the queue again. Is that?
No.
Nope. All right. Seeing no other discussion, I will. Councillor O'Toole.
Yeah, just thank you very much, Deputy Mayor Tarrant. Just in the discussion of the going to electric, it'll be a cost savings. It's very, very good cost savings. So that's possibly the future of Grande Prairie buses as going to completely electric. So this is the start.
Thank you, Councillor O'Toole. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, I will call the vote. All those in favor of of putting this in the budget 2019 as currently as unfunded, but just to have it on the books so that it's there for the next council to decide on. I will call the question. All those in favor? And that passes unanimously. Councillor Clayton.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Tarrant. I would move that Council approve the Federal Public Transit Infrastructure Fund project list and application submission to Alberta Transportation. At the meeting, it was presented by Mr. Henry, and I apologize, but I don't remember what specifically was on the list. Maybe if there's any questions, administration could sort of lengthen on that.
Councillor McLean.
Thank you, Mayor Tron. I think it was about a 50% funding model
Right.
under FCM, and by applying for this grant, and we'd be putting our foot forward.
Yeah. Would administration, I know maybe Director Galante, would you be able to shed some light on some of the projects that we're looking for funding for? Or sorry, with this, sorry, Acting Director Gardner.
Thank you, Acting Deputy Mayor Tarrant. The funding is again for the electric buses purchase, and it's a stacking grant. So the grant will be through the Green Municipal Funds, or GMF, at the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. And then the province has solar funds that are available, and they would stack these to fund the first 3 buses, I believe.
Excellent, thank you. Is there any further questions on the motion? Not, I will call the question. All those in favor? All right, and that passes unanimously. And one more item, Councillor Clayton.
I move that Council direct Council's representative on the board of the Grande Prairie Regional Tourism Association to identify French tourism as a priority for Council in the 2017 marketing plan. And speaking to that, we had a great presentation on, with research conducted regarding the development of the Francophone friendly improvements to support French-speaking residents in the city of Grande Prairie. And it was sort of discussed that this would be a great thing for tourism, and we have a representative on that organization, so it was left that it would go there.
All right. Is there any further questions, discussion? I'll just jump in here too and just note that the City of Grande Prairie became part of the Francophone and Francophile Cities Network that was started by the Mayor of Quebec City last year. And, as participant in this network, we are looking at a number of opportunities we can look at to improve French tourism and to enhance the French culture, and to make sure that others around the world can enjoy the French culture that exists here. So I look forward to having this spoken about at the Tourism Association, and seeing what will come out of those initiatives. Councillor Radburn.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Tarrant. I will support the motion. The way it's written, I appreciate the fact that it's not directing. It's informing the Tourism Association of a priority of ours. It's not my top priority, but it is a priority. And so I think that hopefully with that, letting them know, they'll be able to include some actions relative to French tourism. Thank you.
Seeing nothing else, I will call the vote. All those in favor? All right. And that passes. So we'll now move on to our community living committee minutes.
Just one other thing I wanted to add.
Sorry.
That's okay. In addition to the Francophone Cities Network, there's going to be a policy that administration is going to bring back to work with our facilities and parks in regards to the potential of future directional and wayfinding signs in recognized symbols or bilingual text. So that was sort of a discussion that day as well. We had a presentation from some business owners on 68 Avenue to discuss, on the unfortunate construction delays and how that's affecting their business. So it was a very good but long meeting. So thank you.
Thank you. Perfect. We'll now move on to community living, and thank you to Councillor O'Toole, who stepped in for me while I was away.
Thank you very much. I have just a couple things here. I'd like to move the council receive the minutes for the Community Living Committee held Tuesday, September 6, 2016, as presented.
Any discussion? Seeing none, I will call the vote. All those in favor? All right, and that passes.
And I have one recommendation as well, that council allocate funds for the 2016 Park Improvement Grant Program as follows. The first one is Cobblestone and Riverstone Neighborhood Association in the amount of $10,000 to be applied towards the supply and installation of concrete pads and picnic tables. The second I'd like to bring forward is the Ivy Macklin School in the amount of $5,000 to be applied toward a playground enhancement project that they have. And the third one is the Mount View Neighborhood Association in the amount of $10,000 to be applied toward the supply and installation of concrete pad and picnic tables as well.
Thank you, Councillor O'Toole. I have Councillor Clayton.
Thank you, Acting Deputy Mayor Tarrant. I wondered if administration or possibly somebody could give me a further explanation on the Ivy Macklin School funds. I understood that many schools in our city are fundraising for playgrounds, and it wasn't typically an initiative that city was supporting, so I just wondered about a bit more information on that.
It's my understanding from the report that the application did meet the intent of the program, and it was recommended by Parks that we fund them in the amount of $5,000. I'm not sure why this one over the other one.
Anything further? Nope. Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? And that passes. Councillor Toole.
And one more item. I move the council designate the former school board office lands to be used for future surface parking and potential future road widening. This isn't going to happen overnight, but we did want to designate it down in the future, so when planning takes place sometime in the future, that this would be in the plan already. Thank you.
Councillor McLean.
Thank you, Mayor Tron. Can I get a little bit of relevance to this? How much we paid for the building, the exact change, and to what we're hoping to have in a extra budget for maybe what may perceive to happen down the road. So what was the initial cost to buy this land and building?
Do we have someone from administration that could, Acting Director?
The original purchase of the land was $1,530,000. And your further question was regarding the ongoing cost, was it? Or what was your ongoing question?
No, the next question would be, because I think the total amount is 2-some million, isn't it? So what's the difference between 1,530,000 and the 2-some million? Because I want to speak to both budgeting. So I'll direct that to Community Living Director.
Deputy Mayor Tarrant. The demolition is $200,000 and parking construction was $600,000, which would be the additional funds, I believe.
I should make a note that at this point, this is just for future planning. There's nothing being recommended for budget or anything. That was just information given at the committee as to what the cost would be at that point.
I agree, but they're asking for an extra $800,000 to be allocated for this funding, where the building would be $1,530,000. So we're predicting what we might do down the road. The building can also be maintained by other employees that do other functions. So right now, to buy that building, we actually would only need $1,530,000. But directors or whoever has made this up wants another 800,000 to hope to have extra stuff down the road.
Councilor McCain, right now, the purchase of the building has already taken place. What is being requested right now for long-term planning is to have it identified as the future use so that the planning department and others in the area are able to make decisions based on that. I don't see anywhere that there's a request for budget or extra funds or anything at this time. That's, that could be coming down the future.
I think you may be wrong, Mayor Tarrant. They're asking for $2.some million to buy the land and the building is $1,530,000. They're
okay. But at this point, this is just for, in terms of planning, this is going to be the request.
This is the request, yes. So that's why I was wanting to get it.
We're not talking any budget at this point, yeah.
Well, it is budget because we got to borrow it. That's why it's coming forward.
Is there any further discussion on this?
Yes, I'd like to throw one in. I hope council votes this down. We want to talk about having extra funding and budget. This is one where our council or future council could decide what that building may happen to it. It should be direct funds, $1,530,000. There's $800,000 of hope we're going to do this. We don't know if other maintenance or departments are going to use it. This is an extra, to me, a slush fund, and I hope we don't do it. Hope we vote against it.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will call the vote. All those in favor? All right, and that motion passes. Sorry, lost my. So that is there anything else that you wanted to bring up at the community living, Councillor O'Toole?
Yes, there's just a couple of presentations that were brought, delegations actually. The Grand Prairie Hospice Palliative Care Society came in and spoke on the good work that they've been doing over the last year, and it's a routine thing that they do for a yearly update, and good experiences that they've had in regards to the care that they've been providing. Also, the Grand Prairie District and Grief Support Circle of Life. Also, the executive director for grief support came in and gave her yearly update as well. And one more was the Grand Prairie and Area Council on Aging, the Seniors Outreach, and the Meals on Wheels once again did their yearly update and the successes that they've had and the amount that they've grown over the last few years. And that will be all.
Thank you, Councillor O'Toole. Move on to community safety, and I believe the chair was gone for that one as well.
That'd be me.
Oh, sorry, Councillor O'Toole.
Yeah, I'm filling the role
sorry,
here.
mixing them up.
Thank you very much. Move the council receive the minutes for the community safety meeting held Tuesday, September 13th, as presented.
Any discussion on those? Call the question. All those in favor? Oh, my apologies. Let's cancel that vote, and we will go back to the proper order of the meeting. My apologies. So, pursuit of excellence.
That would be me as well.
Yes, Councillor O'Toole.
Okay.
Show tonight.
Good thing I show up every now and again, eh? Pursuit of Excellent meeting held Thursday, September 8th, 2016. Council received the minutes of the Pursuit of Excellent. I move the council receive the minutes of the Pursuit of Excellent committee meeting held Thursday, September 8th, 2016, as presented.
Any discussion on that? Call the question. All those in favor? And that passes. Did you want to speak to anything on that one?
Yes, we do have a number of sports that we funded, and this does not include the September 8th meeting. Some of the sports that we've gave money to through the program was biathlon and cross-country skiing, and powerlifting, boxing, dance, snowboarding, canoe polo, racquetball, freestyle skiing, gymnastics, lacrosse, volleyball, mountain biking, and hockey and MMA. and some of the funding locations that people are wondering where these people come from that get the funding. Some were from the city of Grande Prairie, some were from the county of Grande Prairie. We have individuals that came from Grovedale, Beaver Lodge, Wanham, Wembley, and other places in the Peace region.
Councillor Rice?
Refresh my memory, Pursuit of Excellence, does the county put money in? I know it started with leftovers from the Canada Winter Games, but does the county put money in?
Yes, this is a year that the county did put money in this year.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anything further? All right, well, Councillor O'Toole, just keep going. Oh,
Just got one more thing. We do have an event happening here next month. It's promote the individuals that have got the Bob Neufeld Award and the Perky McCullough Award. So we've been handing the awards out here at council chambers, and it's a little tight for some of the family members to get in here. So we're just kind of expanding the forum a little bit, and just a little bit more of a social and a little presence for the media to actually interview some of the winners, the past winners, and it's the first time we've done that. This will be this year, and looking forward to expanding it again, possibly even next year. Thank you very much for my.
Councillor O'Toole, and now we can get back to
There we go.
community safety and back on track here.
Okay, and community safety, once again, I move the council receive the minutes of the Community Safety Committee meeting held Tuesday, September 13th, 2016, as presented.
Okay. And any discussion on those minutes? Not, I will call a question. All those in favor? One more. All right. Thank you. And those pass. Councillor O'Toole.
I have moved that the council receive the, bylaw. Sorry, I'm a little overwhelmed here right now. Bylaw C-1312A, Fire Services Bylaw Amendment. I move the council give first reading to the bylaw C-1312A, being an amendment to the Fire Services Bylaw.
Is there any discussion? Councillor Rice? Oh, sorry. It's first reading, so we can't have any discussion on that.
Well, yeah, we can ask a question, though.
Yes, sorry.
Maybe can Director Galante just very quickly outline the changes?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Because of the result of annexation, fire administration was directed to review the existing fire services bylaw to incorporate any potential changes to the result of the addition of land. So there are several housekeeping items as part of the new bylaw, basically to align the wording with other legislation. Of course, we're reflecting the addition of the rural service area. Some definitions about what is permitted and what is not permitted in terms of burning debris. So there is a list of items as part of the new bylaw. Also, as part of the new bylaw, the fees and charges for fire protection services have been incorporated. That is the reason of, at the end of the motion, administration is asking council to rescind policy 109, because this existing policy has been incorporated as part of the bylaw. Also, there is some clarification about the, or incorporation about fireworks and permits for fireworks that has been omitted in error in the past. So now the fireworks regulation and permit and fee schedule is part of the new bylaw. So this is in a nutshell a summary of the changes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Horatio Galante.
Right. Is there any further questions on this this item? Seeing none, I will call the vote. All in favor? Right, and that passes unanimously.
Okay, I move. Give second reading to bylaw C-1312A.
Right, now is there any discussion on the second motion of this bylaw?
Just a little,
Councillor Toole?
just a little update. The bylaw hadn't really been changed since about 2009, and we just needed to get it up to date. So the report that was given basically covers everything that we talked about.
Councillor McLean?
Thank you, Mayor Tron. Just a couple quick questions to Director Horacio. Can you explain a little bit more in detail the firework changes they're trying to do? And in case I missed anything. And the other one is, does that have to do anything with Aquaterra but fire hydrants? About been hearing lately where the homeowners are responsible for the pressure in the fire hydrants and they go and look for their insurance. Does this have anything to do in this policy? Two questions.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Basically, for the two questions, there are no changes compared with the old bylaw. This is an amalgamation, and we're combining the previous bylaws into this one. And under Schedule B, the fireworks wording was omitted before. It was not part of the bylaw. It was like a separate piece of legislation. So there's no change in terms of the permit application and the fees. So still a permit is required to buy and to display fireworks. No changes at all. It's a housekeeping item incorporating the wording into the bylaw. Same situation with the fire hydrants.
So just to finish up, I'm kind of leery, like the fireworks. I know how I feel on that one because I can have them send off and buy them if you're from the county, but the city you need a permit. The fire hydrants, I've been hearing recently in the public, and that's why I'm trying to reach in if this is in the policy, that you're responsible. Is it Aquaterra taking care of it? Is it part of the fire policy? Who's taking care of the fire hydrants? Because you're hearing about get a hold of us because of insurance, and if you live by one. Do we know this for sure about the fire hydrants?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. It's property owner responsibility to clear, for example, the snow surrounding the hydrant during the winter time. However, the maintenance of the physical hydrant, all the bulbs and mechanical components, is Aquaterra's responsibility. The same for the testing of the fire hydrant to measure flow, corrosion, and any other maintenance. Aquaterra performs that in coordination with our fire department.
Okay, thank you.
Seeing any further discussion on this bylaw? Seeing none, I will call the vote on second motion. Second reading, that's it. All right, and that passes. Councillor O'Toole.
I move that we have third reading of bylaw C-1312A at this meeting.
All right, so remind everybody, this is the motion to have third reading, and we have to be unanimous in order to have third reading here tonight. So I'll call the vote. All those in favor? All right, and that does not pass, so we'll be coming back, the bylaw will be coming back to you next meeting. And
just a couple of other things that I'd like to bring up that were discussed at the meeting was there was city planning construction manager, Mr. Hinton, discussed pedestrian safety on 97th Avenue and 101st Street. This was something that was brought up by council to see if we could do some kind of crosswalk enhancement. And we have a motion that was passed at the committee to investigate a pedestrian bulb out at 92nd Avenue and 101st Street for the inclusion of the 2017 work plan. We're not going to tell anybody that we have to have this. It would be the priority of the work that comes up for next year, and set that according to the priority level that they would feel would be necessary.
perfect. That takes us now to corporate services. Oh, sorry. Councillor Clayton.
I wondered if either Councillor O'Toole or administration could give me a bit more information on the verbal update for the 68th Avenue Twinning project. I understand there was a verbal update there. I wondered if maybe administration could speak a bit more about that.
Director Galante.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. That's correct. During Community Safety Committee, the engineering department provided a detailed update about the construction of 68th Avenue, the schedule that was planned at the beginning of the season with all the rain that we got during the summer. And just to give you an idea, basically 50% of the construction days up to date have been determined to be rain days. And it takes between 1 to 3 days after the formal rain date for the contractor to continue working. They can perform some work. They can advance the schedule, but the majority of the cases, even if it's a sunny day, after the rainy day, still they cannot proceed at 100%. So there is a schedule in progress right now. We will be providing an update in about 2 weeks, again to community safety. We continue monitoring the weather, and there will be more definitions in 2 or 3 weeks. However, the tying work between the road and the bridge is not going to happen before winter. So the contractor and the engineering department, they are coordinating a schedule on how to provide the best option for traffic and pedestrians during the winter months, because the bridge won't be operational for this winter.
Can I just have another question? So, Director Galante, can you tell me when will the road open again from 100th to Poplar? Do you know approximately the date of that?
I don't have those details here in front of me.
Okay, but it'll be updated again at safety in 2 weeks?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor McLean.
Thank you, Mayor Tron. I think Director Galante answered it, but from Richmond to Poplar, I think if all the stars align, quite possibly, I've been rumors hearing throughout that it might be a good chance, but the bridge is not a surprise that it's going to sit. Most bridges sit for a year before they're driven on.
Councillor O'Toole.
Also, that come out of the meeting is the lay down area near the bridge, and the camps and stuff like that they have will be pretty much cleaned up by the end of this year. And another bit of information, at the intersection of 100th and 68th, there was some unforeseen piping that was brought in there, and there was some asbestos around that. So it immediately has to do the shutdown and bring in the people to come in and deal with that. So this is like tearing your basement apart and finding things that you don't really think that there should be there. It's no one's fault. It just happened to be there. And of course, you have to be certified to deal with asbestos and that kind of stuff. So it does add delays, and it's one of those things that just happens. So that's just another update.
Thank you. Is there anything else coming out of community safety? Seeing none, I will move on to corporate services. And who's taking care of those minutes?
Well, that would be me.
Sorry.
It was
That's a Radburn. Okay,
it was
sorry. It seemed like a crazy couple weeks. So.
Thank you. I would move the council receive the minutes of the Corporate Service Committee meeting held Tuesday, September 13th, 2016 as presented.
Right. Any discussion on those? Call a question. All those in favor? Right, and that passes. Councillor Radburn.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Tarrant. I have 2 borrowing bylaws to present today, and just for first reading for each of them, because we table them with first reading, and then there's an advertisement period of, I think, at least 2 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks, and then second and third readings will come later. First one is the borrowing bylaw C-1351 Montrose Greenway Concourse Construction. It is for the amount of $1,527,000. The project total cost was $2,402,079, but property tax levy in our budget accounted for $830,000 of that. We also used $45,000 worth of reserves, leaving the $1,527,000 to borrow. Thank you.
Councillor Radburn, is there any discussion on the motion? Oh, sorry. No. Just kidding. Just joking. Didn't mean it. So we'll have a vote on first reading. Right, and that passes unanimously. And
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Tarrant. Second one is boring bylaw C-1352, purchase the Grand Prairie Public School District Administration building. Councillor McLean is quite correct earlier today. Initially, the purchase of the land was $1,530,000. Committee did receive recommendation from Community Living to consider including in the boring bylaw redevelopment costs. And so that's what we did. So that redevelopment cost, as Ms. Henning had mentioned, was $200,000 for demolishing and $600,000 for a parking lot and geometric design for that roadway. So that's why the bylaw amount is $2,330,000. And I'm sure that amount can be debated, will be debated when it comes back to us, but that's to give us the flexibility to do that. Doesn't mean we're going to go ahead with the project, but allows the flexibility to borrow the money if and when we need it to do the project. And for sure, we're looking at different uses of that building in the shorter term, but in the longer term, that's kind of the direction that at this point we're going. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Radburn. Is there any questions for administration on this one? Councillor McLean.
Thank you, Mayor Trent. So the question is to Community Living Acting Director Kylie, this is the $1,530,000 that I was speaking to before, the exact price for the land and building as is.
Deputy Mayor, that is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Right, any further questions? Seeing none, I will call the vote. All those in favor? Right, and that passes. And so that'll go through the notification period, and we'll see it back in a few weeks. I will now move on to Councillor Radburn, was there something else you wanted to speak to?
That would be great. Councillor McLean presented actually 3 motions in addition to these for consideration. One was a question about our taxes relative to property taxes in certain selected other Alberta cities and selected rural municipalities, and that passed. And so we'll be receiving a report on that. He also put a motion forward to gather information on a 5-year trend in our debt load and our parameters therein, and that was also passed. He also presented a motion on the impact of the debt increases on property taxes. 20 million, 40 million, 60 million more, and that motion was defeated. But it was a good discussion of those and those motions, and we look forward to the report back and further discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Radburn. Councillor Rice.
Shortly after the committee meeting, I think a day or two, City Manager Sherback forwarded us some rather fascinating information that Municipal Affairs had compiled. Does this not answer all the questions that came from the committee meeting? I guess what I'm wondering is, does administration have to go further than what we received?
Councillor Radburn.
Yes, I do believe they need more. They need to bring something back that could form the essence of the report, but I don't think that was the intent, would be that was the report.
Okay.
Councillor Radburn. All right. Is there any further questions on corporate services? Seeing none, I will move to the Council Committee of the Whole meeting that we held on September 15th. Is there someone that would like to move the minutes of this meeting? Councillor Radburn.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Tarrant. I would move Council receive the minutes of the Council Committee of the Whole meeting held Thursday, September 15th, 2016, as presented. There was an in-camera portion of that meeting. We came out of that and made the motion that follows. And they also, the other agenda item on this council committee of the whole was really our city's brownfield strategy. And we directed administration to do a couple of directions for administration in that regard.
Councillor Radburn, and would you like to go ahead and make the the motion that came out of that meeting as well? Oh, sorry, my apologies. I will call the vote on the minutes. All those in favor? And those pass. So now, Councillor Radburn, move on to the next one.
Again, thank you. I would move council approve the new collective agreement between the City of Grande Prairie and the Canadian Union of Public Employees, CUPE, Local 787, for a 3-year term beginning January 1st, 2016 and ending December 31st, 2018.
All right. Councillor McLean.
Thank you, Mayor Tron. Can we move to administration of what exactly the percentages are per year?
Would someone from administration like to? Oh, Director Galante has it available right there. So asking what the terms of the agreement includes.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. That's correct. So about 5 months ago, administration started negotiations with CUPE. And recently we have reached an agreement for a 3-year contract. And the agreement has a monetary and non-monetary component. Everything has been kept within budgeted amount. And the agreement is retroactive for 2016, for 17 and 18, valid until the end of 2018. And the wage increases, the percentages, for 2016 is 1.5%, for 2017 is 1.8%, and for 2018 is 2.25%.
Councillor Rice.
I really want to commend Director Galante and City Manager Sherbeck. This has been a painless, as far as from our perspective, negotiations with CUPE. I really want to thank CUPE for being so reasonable in these economic times, and I know lots of other municipalities aren't finding that ease with which we did, so I commend administration and CUPE as well.
Councillor Rice, Councillor McLean.
Thank you, Mayor Tarrant. I'm not going to be supporting this. I believe some of the numbers, even though they may be good on some good years, we got people losing homes, people taking cutbacks and rollbacks in our community, and not saying the numbers are terribly high, but we need to be and affirm we're always yes, yes, yes. And I know when we get that back with property tax, we'll know where we're at in the province. I'm a little bit against the 2018 at 2.25 and 1.5, 1.8 sounds good, but I would be voting against it.
Is there any further discussion on this? Councillor Clayton.
Thank you, Acting or Deputy Mayor Tarrant. I also won't be supporting this motion. I feel that in these economic times, for people to keep a good paying job without having reduction in wages, work in a great work environment, have great benefits, should be a bonus in itself. I think that this is the wrong time to be giving anybody a raise, and therefore I won't support it.
Is there any other... Nothing else? Well, I will... Oh, Councillor O'Toole.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. I, on the other hand, will support it. I think the work that was done, it was a lot of other things that the union had brought up and was discussed, and it wasn't monetary. It was just some tightening up the belt as well. So as far as I'm concerned, this is probably a very good deal. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor O'Toole. One final chance. Is there anyone else? All right. Seeing none, I will call the vote. All those in favor of approving the agreement. All right. And the agreement does pass. And so we'll move on to, that's all our committee business now. So we'll move on to items of correspondence. We have none. We had no delegations here tonight. There is no notices of motion, and other than the ones we've dealt with. And so that brings us to council member reports. So I will start with Councillor McLean.
Thank you, Mayor Tarrant. We had a Center 2000 meeting, basically general health issues, talking about new furnaces in the building. To have a look at the parking lot, I threw that out there. We got a couple of important individuals that are in that building, tourism, Chamber of Commerce, and it looks like you're on the moon when you're in the parking lot. So they're going to have a look at it in house and come back to us and see. And there was also discussion on lights around the perimeter for the overhang. So and a few other stuff, but mostly in house, and things seem to be following course. And the other one I want to report to on is regional emergency management meeting we had in Claremont. It was well attended. There was a couple things. Budget, which was a motion made for budget. They're hoping at the end of July to spend 58% of their budget, and they're at 59.3. So really, nothing to be really worried about there. And the other one is use of a seconder to motion. The last time when I first meeting I asked, well, what is this necessary? And they looked into it and realized it's not. Most towns and in the areas don't use a secondary motion, so just kind of a clean in-house issue.
Councillor McLean, Councillor Radburn. You have a couple? Nope. Councillor. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You had
Me,
sports
sorry.
and the sports.
You wanted me to comment on Councillor McLean's report.
No.
Sports Council board meeting on September 12th. I guess 3 highlights. One, we helped just to let council know that Karna worked with Kool-Aid, YMCA, and Jumpstart Canadian Tire to provide some multi-sport programs for both Kool-Aid and YMCA. Thanks to Canadian Tire for $13,000 of Jumpstart monies to help those youth. Also, Karna's attending community events across the region, city and county, in the next month. And most of the meeting was our planning session, and so we updated our strategic plan. We have 4 major directions, objectives, responsibilities, and actions forthcoming from those. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Radburn. And Councillor Toole, I believe you had a couple of committees. I believe you said you had the tourism and community futures.
Yes. Got some news about the tourism board. Our executive director for the tourism board, Ainsley Lamontage, is resigned. She will be leaving here at the end of the month, and she'll be moving up to the Northwest Territories to look after the entire Northwest Territories tourism. So she's going to be moving on. We did have a couple of other reviews of policies, basically some planning cycles and committee principles and structure, which we needed to update. It's been a number of years since we had looked at that. And that was it for the tourism board. And for the, what else did I tell you I had? Community Futures. Yes. At one time, the Community Futures was looking to partner possibly with the county of Grande Prairie to look at a building that the county really wanted, but there was a lot of space in there that they couldn't necessarily fill themselves. They were going to use FCSS offices to move in there, but under closer scrutiny of the building engineering report, they backed out, and so the possibility of a business incubator is no longer valid or viable in Claremont at this point in time. And yeah, and that was the highlight of our meeting. Everything else is kind of the way it is. We gave away some money and we make some people happy.
Excellent. Councillor Clayton, you had a question?
Sorry, I had
A report? Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not sure if everyone else is. Okay, thank you. I just had a brief update from the Prairie Art Gallery. A couple things. The Alberta Culture Days take place September 30th until October 2nd. There's a great 3 days of activities lined up at the Art Gallery, starting with a reception on the Friday evening, September 30th. As well, the Art Gallery is currently looking for volunteers, everything from hanging art to learning to curate art, and you can go onto their website to see more information about that. And there's a great exhibition at the gallery that's going to open as well. The landscape paintings of Levine Flexhog, and it's quite the exhibit. You have to go see it. We're very, very fortunate to have it in Grande Prairie, and it's quite a interesting story. So I encourage all those who are interested in art to get out and see the exhibit. Thanks.
Councillor Clayton. Councillor Radburn.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Tarrant. I have one more report. That would be the library board. Met September 13th, 3 highlights. One was a new resource sharing agreement with the Peace Library System was finalized and approved. This agreement really, the Peace Library System pays the public library for interlibrary loan technician services that our Grande Prairie Library provides. Secondly, we updated our board membership policy to include a 3 consecutive meetings. If you miss 3 consecutive meetings, you're disqualified. Gives us the flexibility to deal with issues that may come in the future. And we had a plan of service mid-year update. Thank you.
Councillor Radburn. All right. Is there? I guess we'll move into Council Round Table, and we'll start to my left here, Councillor Rice.
Thank you very much. I attended the Edible Garden Hillside School Apple Harvest event, and I really commend Michelle Gardner for that initiative. It was fabulous, and the apples and potatoes were huge, and I understand they made it a learning experience for the children. So it was just brilliant, as they also learned when you harvest apples, what you do with them, all that kind of stuff. And the bounty was huge. I was surprised for a fairly new garden the size of the harvest. So that was quite a neat initiative. I also attended the Home Depot Orange Door Project, and I think it was 2 years ago, Home Depot committed $10 million to work towards ending youth homelessness. And they're looking for collaborative projects that incorporate long-term solutions. So big commitment by them.
Councillor Rice. Councillor O'Toole.
Thank you very much. On yesterday, I attended the Grande Prairie Cricket Association's year-end final match and award ceremony. It was a great event. I go back a few years ago, there was a number of people playing cricket in Grande Prairie across from my parents' home, and they bugged me until we found them a spot to play in a more permanent location. And I can tell you that there's 5 teams representing Grande Prairie. A local team come together. They play second in the province this year in provincial, and there's about 70 players that play cricket in the Grande Prairie area that are of what you call adult age, but there's numbers that probably equal in the youth, and they're training all the time and promoting their sport. It was a great event. I also attended the Small Business Week on September 14th. It was start of the proclamation breakfast. Small Business Week is until next month, but they had the announcement of all the potential candidates for awards, and there's a great number there, everything from employee to small business to large employers. And one more other one was the Parkinson's Alberta Step in Stride Walk fundraiser. I did attend that one, and I did the 7-kilometer walk in record time. Just want you to know, but it wasn't about winning or losing. I think we are all winners when we participated. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor O'Toole. Councillor Redburn.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Tarrant. I'm going to highlight three things. First of all, I represented council at the Chamber of Commerce reception for the second-year medical students that are here for a month as part of their program. Some exciting young men and women, and hopefully we can recruit them and put maybe a inkling of, hey, when you're ready to come to offer your services to a community, think about our community. And I was very proud to be able to, as we have done, council will know this, as we've done for several years now, we offer those students a month pass at the Eastlink Center to, again, make their time in Grande Prairie both educational and fun. So, and my other highlight would be the apple potato harvest that Councillor Rice has spoken to, and also the Pinnacle Neighborhood ribbon cutting for new apple orchard. Again, very exciting, the work that neighborhood associations are doing, and this is just another great example of that. And on a personal note, both the Mike Fadina Park and the G.A. James Park I had never been to before, so it was a great chance to see some of our great parks. I was so impressed with G.A. James Park in particular that I'll probably bring my grandkids to there sometime soon. Thank you.
Councillor Redburn. Councillor Clayton.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Tarrant. A couple things have already been mentioned, but I would like to highlight that myself and Councillor Radburn and Mayor Given attended the RCMP Regimental Dinner. Was hosted at the Royal Canadian Legion. It was a super well-attended event. Great food presented by the Legion. Great to see the room full of, the members in the Red Surge, and there was a little bit of a comedy element to it. So it was a great evening, and I really enjoyed that one. As well, attended the United Way campaign kickoff, which was a full room and a neat approach this year. They've decided to raise money for needs. So they haven't set a goal based on what they think. They've set the goal on actual needs. And I think it comes in at about $1.4 million the community needs this year. So wish them well in regards to that. And the last thing, yesterday, attended the Terry Fox Run with Mayor Given at Muskogee Park. Good turnout of competitive runners, Rotarians, youth groups from various schools. And I think I've heard that they raised $7,000 yesterday, but don't quote me on that. But it was a well-attended event, and the weather held out, so it was great. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Clayton. Councillor Logan.
Had a peculiar couple of weeks. Attended a number of meetings at City Hall and a number in camera meetings. But I think the biggest thing that happened was to sit down with lunch with our city manager and go over things. And I'm sure he's cornered all the rest of you at various times. And it was a good session. I also had a round of 3 days of medical tests. And Carol had 1 day of medical tests, and I'm still here, but it sure takes a bite out of 2 weeks.
Thank you, Councillor Logan. Councillor McLean.
Thank you very much, Mayor Tarrant. A couple things to report on. As you know, that our city manager is going off in the wind. He's got about 10 years almost at the city as manager, so you wouldn't notice from his hair or anything. So we had a consultation interview with CAO. That's our only employee that's part of the city. I thought that was very important. My first time process in second term. And I look forward to that. It seems like we picked the right choice for that. The other one, and to speak as Councillor Logan did with my quarterly meeting I had with Greg, went very, very well. They've always have, and I've always been proud of those. And I guess it was my last one, so because there won't be no more quarterlies with Greg. So, so speaking to two more, I went to my first HIV North Scotia Bank AIDS walk with my daughter Kendra. And just to speak to this, I remember being sit down with 3 British doctors on a rugby team saying, in '84 there's AIDS, and we don't know all about it yet, and it's in our area already. And they put a little scare in us, and they said, we don't know how, we got an idea how it gets contact and how it goes. And I can remember back then that we were really, really nervous, and there was a lot of borders put up. But now we're getting more worried about what I'm hearing is complacency. Oh, there's the drugs, and you can live for many, many years, but AIDS is still out there, and there's a lot of people that don't know that they have it that could be transmitting the disease. So I was glad to be participating in the walk with my daughter. It wasn't as long as the Terry Fox or the 7-kilometer one, but it was good enough. And I will say I attended my first GP Cricket Association trophy meeting. Got to eat some very beautiful food. I actually bought a buddy from England that knew about cricket because I thought they're crazy not to have baseball gloves, and they have to catch it with their hands. But he kind of told me all about the game, and so that was an important part of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor McLean. For myself, just a couple items. I attended the Sports Commission meeting. We've heard a little bit more about the previous event, which happened this summer, which was not very well attended, but went off fairly well in terms of the commission perspective. And we have another roundabouts coming up in a couple weeks' time to be held at Entrix Center as well. I attended the Airport Commission meeting and presented with a few different statistics there. Flights continue to be down about 8% year over year. However, when you look at the stats sort of as a graph, 2015 was a record year, so it's not significant. It's still holding fairly steady, although it is down year over year. We were informed that Air Canada will be, at least for the fall, switching back from their Q400s to their the Dash 8s. So that's just to have deal with the fewer amount of people that are going to be flying there. And yeah, with that, I would like to thank Council and everyone for the well wishes on the birth of our son, and really appreciate it. And thank you everyone for dealing with my sleep deprived work at this meeting tonight. And with that, I'll call the meeting adjourned.